So hello and welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and we are live again with the second part of Amber Heard's interview. That's gonna be the final part, and I'm gonna do a blind run reaction, a blind run analysis, where I haven't seen this video yet. I'm gonna be watching it for the first time with you, and you're gonna be watching my reactions as I watch the video in front of you. Okay, that will be the process today. Let's wait maybe a couple minutes, just a couple minutes until we begin, and remember to hit the like button. Hit the like button because that's the way that you can help me with this live. And today I have this is a friendly reminder that today you still have the opportunity. I think it's gonna be you still have the opportunity today to get my face reading complete guide to face reading, how to read face emotions. This is my guide that I've worked on it for a few years, if not decades, to condense everything that you need to read people's facial emotions. The regular price is $99, but right now during this live you can get it at 70% discount with the link in the description at just $29 with the link that you'll find in the description. You have the coupon there and you can get it. If you're watching the live, then the offer is on. Just go and grab it. You can do it right now if you want. 70% discount on my full catalog of body language, of facial expression emotions, from the most from the easiest to the most specific and hardest to spot. It's all in there. That's the guide that I give my students, my programs. So let's begin with Amber already. Have this second part of the interview. We already had the first part, a preview, a trailer that was 2 days ago. Was just barely 2 minutes, but that gave us enough content to realize what was the intention behind this. The intention is doing damage control, somehow trying to shorten that gap between that polarity gap between what the public perceives as bad Amber and good Johnny. Okay, that Amber wants to like bridge that gap. Okay, so she's not people don't look at her as that bad. Okay, she's doing damage control. There are reports now, we're reading reports, not there's there's no confirmation from Warner Brothers yet that Amber is gonna be completely cut from Aquaman 2. She's gonna be recast for this movie and for subsequent movies. And there's no confirmation, no official confirmation from Warner Brothers, but we have so many outlets and from the field claiming that we're not talking about Daily Mail here. We're talking about other other outlets claiming that. But let's wait until that happens. But I doubt. I don't believe in coincidences. I don't think that it's a coincidence that there's this barrage of reports that she's been caught, and at the same time we got this two-part interview. This two-part interview follows an interview that did Elaine, her lawyer, 1 week ago, like 10 days ago. I really don't remember when was the time frame. It was not more than 2 weeks ago. And this testing the waters of what can they do to improve the public's perception of Amber. Okay, that's all that Amber does. But yesterday, I have to remind you that yesterday she claimed again that Johnny was physical with her. Okay, she claimed once again in the first part of the interview that Johnny was physical with her. Okay, after all that we saw on the trial, after the long hours of testimonies from both parties, and the verdict, we still have Amber claiming that Johnny hit her. Okay, So maybe, well, I don't know what to say that. I don't know if she didn't expect. I have this the feeling that this was scripted, but for what people have said or have seen on Savannah Guthrie, the interviewer, there's some questions that were really um, like burning, very hot questions that were like no hold bar questions that Amber just did not answer. Okay, yesterday she avoided answering more than a couple questions, and if you were in yesterday's live that you can watch in my channel and my live playlist, you will realize that all the patterns of avoiding a question are the same patterns of a narcissist, of a manipulator, of a toxic personality that tries their best to not tell the truth, but at the same time not be compromised by their own answer. Okay, and we were talking about how important it is for every single one of us to understand these patterns, so that way we can know when someone is trying to manipulate us, when they are not answering directly to our questions. That is fundamental in any conversation and any argument. When you ask a direct question, you deserve a direct answer. You don't deserve another question. You don't deserve an explanation. You don't deserve to be repeated the question you just asked. You need a direct answer to your direct question. That doesn't happen here. I don't know. I haven't watched this second part. Again, I'm beginning to like this spontaneous, first time blind runs analysis and trying to react. As such, I have to tell you that maybe you like my 9-minute videos, but my 9-minute videos have been made through watching this the footage like 6 or 7 times, using slow motion, making annotations, comparing the sections of the video, and giving you a summary of everything. So as such, it is not like I'm gonna be seeing and jumping to conclusions upon first seeing or spotting any body language clue. The body language doesn't work that way. You have to be careful. You have to be trying to be unbiased. Even if we watch the trailer or the teaser, the 2-minute teaser to this interview, and we already watched yesterday the first part, still I encourage you to watch this second part of the interview with fresh eyes, with a fresh set of eyes. Okay, trying to be as unbiased as possible. Okay, even if your preconceptions of Amber, what you think about her, I suggest that every single time you're watching some footage or watching a person in real time or watching two people have an argument or a conversation to each other, trying to listen to their words and observe their body language, silencing the noise in your head. Okay, silencing what you think about them. Okay, that is important, that is relevant, that is good to have a clean observation, and of course being able to stack body language signals one by one, as I mentioned repeatedly in my videos. No single body language signal is gonna help you jump to conclusions. There's no single meaning. There's no way from a single body language clue to jump to a conclusion. So you have to keep stacking them as you watch the footage. That being said, we're gonna start watching the footage now. I'm gonna do rewind just to the moment. I watched the first. I have to say that how I watched the first 9 seconds or so, and this. I want to ask you before we begin. What do you feel? What do you sense from this pose? Okay, this instant in time. You know that, well, you already know that chin up, and having that chin high up is a bit of arrogance. When you have that chin up and your head turns up too, then you start to see the other person like looking down on them. You see that Amber is really arrogant in this moment. This is like 38 seconds in. We're gonna be why I had this intro that they are talking about the interview, and there's this generic images from the trial, and then the interview, the second part of the interview begins, and you will notice what is her answer. And at this frame, with this attitude, looking down on Savannah Guthrie, looking down at her, is part of that answer, and you will be amazed of the contradiction between the two. Her words and her body language. Remember that words, what people say, and their body language are the two sides of a coin. You cannot analyze body language without listening to the words, okay? And you cannot listen to the words or analyze the words without looking at the body language. There are you cannot separate them, okay? Think about that. That is important. And so let's begin. Here's when, in 26 seconds, when the interview really begins. And I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna leave my mic open because I still want to comment instantly. I don't want to lose time closing and opening the mic. So here we go. Okay, are you ready? Yes, I'm looking at your comments right now. Here, let me see. Let's just make sure that we don't have any. I'm gonna make sure that we don't have any problems with our connection right now. Make sure, absolutely, yeah. Let's begin.
There's a text message where Johnny promises total global humiliation for you. Do you feel like that came true?
I know he promised it. I testified to this.
Okay, first part. There are these text messages that Johnny wrote about total global humiliation upon Amber. She's trying to answer, really moved about that. That's the face she wants to project. That's the face answering. Okay, begin to answer. But you remember that we are at 48 seconds here, and a few seconds before, quite a few seconds before, I'm going to rewind. You remember that we had that expression for a split second. Yeah, that expression. That's what we had at 38 seconds. So this doesn't match with that long pause, that breathing, that heavy breathing out of Amber, that face that she displays upon answering that first question. I'm gonna repeat that clip. You're gonna see that the split second at 38 seconds, she has this face, and then she begins with a long pause, like reflecting on her answer, and finally answer with her eyes more shiny than usual. Is that because there's another layer of tears on them? I'm not saying that she's gonna cry or anything, but there's her eyes are shinier than usual, and her voice is breaking a bit. The problem is that doesn't match with this, and it's part of the same stream of emotional displays. I'm gonna play it again so you see the problem here.
There's a text message where Johnny promises total global humiliation for you. Do you feel like that came true?
Okay, I want to make a pause just to, I hope that you can spot in your screen, if you can see her left eye, there's a very subtle horizontal white line right over her lower eyelid. That means that there's this thicker layer of tears, so the eyes are shinier, and it's because the person is displaying a strong emotion. If this a made up emotion or it's a real emotion, we don't know yet, but there it is. There's a shinier eyes. Also, we got something that I want to tell you. This, okay, I I mentioned yesterday the action of this muscle. The mental is from the chin, and she's tensing her lower lip in a way that tries to project sadness, like she's trying to control that. She just tense. Are you spotting it? Are you watching it? You see it? Yeah, you see it. All right. She is. Let me see if I can. Okay. Do you see? Okay. Do you see? There's that tension of the chin, like she's controlling the desire to cry. She wants to cry. She's trying to control that, or so it seems. And just a couple seconds later, it changes completely. What the F? That is creepy to watch. That is a 2-second window between facial expressions. She listens to the question. We got a rapid blinking. I saw 4 or 5 blinks in there. Let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's 4 of them? 5. I'm gonna leave it at 4. She lowers her head, tenses her chin and lip, like she's is controlling the desire to cry. And then 1 moment later, real Amber pops up. That is really freaky. That is really freaky. Yeah, she's pretending the sad face, because you don't change when you're really controlling the need to cry. When you're trying to control yourself, you're trying to control the emotion. It's not like you can change your emotion like from 1 second to the other. It's not that you can do that. That's just not possible. Okay, and even if it were possible, here, barely 2 seconds later, you will see a mix between those emotions. I want to be. Nobody's gonna see me crying. Nobody's gonna have the luxury to see me cry. So I'm gonna put my arrogant face. Okay, you could do that. But even so, in your face, you're going to be a mix between the two emotions. We don't see any mix in here. We see that emotion, that supposed sadness here, okay, tensing the lower lip, tensing the chin, like when your lower lip and your chin begin to tremble, that you want to cry and you want to control that emotion, and all of a sudden, she has total control of her face and arrogant, defiant Amber displays. Now you tell me that it's basically pretty easy to spot. This is Body Language 101, not hard at all to know to realize that the difference between the two states is too stark. It's too much contrast, like an emotional contrast between a 2-second window, and then she swallows and activates that sad face again. Okay, it's a bit hard to. I'm gonna give a. We're just getting started. This video is about 9 minutes long. We are at 44 seconds. I'm gonna give her a pass for now. As yesterday, if you were in yesterday's live, you have noticed that I made some annotations at the start of the video, and then they were relevant when we were like 6 or 7 minutes down the road, and we realized that yes, there was a big problem in there. As we are just getting started, I'm gonna point out that contrast between those two emotions is too hard and too odd, but it doesn't mean anything concrete yet. Yeah, it's a bit unsettling watch such arrogance, and I think and she's also I can see that here. I doubt that you can see it in your screens thanks to the streaming quality, but I can see that she's tensing her jaw too, like her muscles here, the chewing muscles, they're tense and they jump. That I'm gonna point it. and tell you exactly the moment that it happens. Okay, now it's a bit earlier. I'm gonna tell you, so see if you can spot that. She raises her head and tenses her there. She closes her teeth, her jaw, and tenses those chewing muscles. You can always see that there's a change. Okay, I'm gonna try to do that here. You notice that there's a change in the configuration of the shadows here. You don't have to spot the shape itself, but just a change in the shadows. Let me do that again. Yeah, there's a movement in this area, a change in the shadows. When you see a change there, the only muscle that is there is the chewing muscles, and if their mouth is not moving, it's because they are tensing. They're getting tense on purpose. Okay. And sometimes it's not on purpose, just a reaction. But let's keep watching the video and let's see if these patterns repeat over time.
I know he promised it. I testified to this. I'm not a good victim, I get it. I'm not a likable victim. I'm not a perfect victim. But when I testified, I asked the jury to just see me as human and hear his own words.
Okay, this is something that I really don't get. Those words. I'm gonna play them again. You heard them right. Not a perfect victim and something else.
I testified to this. I'm not a good victim, I get it. I'm not
I'm not a good victim. I get it. Okay, that's wacky. That's strange. What makes a good victim? You're either a victim or you're not a victim. Okay, there's no way around that. Okay, maybe what do you think she means when I'm not a good victim? What is that that's not a good victim? What do you think it's about? That is really strange. I'm not a good victim. If that question is strange enough, then what is a bad victim? What makes a bad victim? Someone that is, if she's not a good victim, then she's claiming at the same time that she's a bad victim. Okay, she's implying that I'm not a good victim. It means that in some way you're a bad victim. What do you mean that you are a bad victim? But because that's what she basically the same that she said, but in other words, I'm not a good victim. She's not a victim. Okay, yeah, that was I don't know who thought that it would be a good idea to say those words. I think those words do not help her at all. And I'm sure that maybe you don't want me to help her in any way. If there's I don't know a way to saying this, but saying I'm not a good victim opens a big can of worms. Like nobody will make sense of that statement. I'm not a good victim, and what else she says?
I testified to this. I'm not a good victim, I get it. I'm not a likable victim.
I'm not a likable victim. I think she's getting into really murky territory in there, because you know what? There are real victims out there. Real victims out there. So it means that if I'm a victim of domestic abuse, I need to be likable. You need to like me to believe me. Do I need to be a good victim so people believe my story? How does that work in Amber's dimension, the crazy dimension of domestic abuse? I want to understand how that works in her perception and why did she thought, well, Amber has said any kind of nonsense, malarkey so far, both in the trial and in this interview. It's been crazy. Yesterday, there was some sentences that were, I don't know, we played them like 5 times and didn't make sense at all. And this is really bad. The statement is not a bad victim. The statement is really bad for her. This is not helping her at all. And that good victim, bad victim, likable victim it's gonna be the train wreck part of this interview. It's not gonna be, a real victim of domestic abuse will not say that. I totally agree with your statement. Okay.
Not a perfect victim, but
I'm not a perfect victim. What makes a perfect victim? What makes a perfect victim?
when I testified, I asked the jury to just see me as human and hear his own words, which is a promise to do this. It feels as though he has.
Okay, I'm trying to follow her. I'm trying to follow what she says, but it's a bit hard. I need your help. I need your help with this one. I'm gonna play that again. I'm gonna play those last couple sentences again. I need you to help me with this because I'm trying to follow what she says, but I'm a bit lost.
When I testified, I asked the jury to just see me as human and hear his own words, which is a promise to do this. It feels as though he has.
Feels as though he has. He has what?
Amber Heard reflecting.
Okay, they cut to editing because, okay, nonsense began. Please cut to editing. I'm gonna play that clip again and let's just jump forward because I don't know. Nonsense.
I know he promised it.
Okay, I'm gonna go play the whole thing.
I know he promised it. I testified to this. I'm not a good victim, I get it. I'm not a likable victim. I'm not a perfect victim. But when I testified, I asked the jury to just see me as human and hear his own words, which is a promise to do this. It feels as though he has.
I'm gonna pass on. I'm gonna continue. I cannot.
Amber Heard.
Whatever. Blah blah blah. Okay, we continue here. Remember that moment?
Depp.
Having been found liable, are you nervous as we are here today about what you can say now?
Of course, I took for granted.
Okay, remember yesterday when I told you about that problem? Not a problem, but that thing with that wobbling your head from side to side, swinging your head from side to side. It doesn't mean that you're saying no with your head all the time. It doesn't mean that. Sometimes we use it for emphasis. You see, for example, that something is delicious. You can do this because you're usually giving emphasis with your head to an adjective or something that needs intensity, okay? And when you're saying something that doesn't need intensity or is an affirmation and you deny with your head, then there is a problem. What we just saw, I'm going to repeat that because I'm absolutely sure or almost sure that I spot that a contradiction.
Now?
Of course.
Yeah. What's the contradiction? She's saying, of course. She's saying, of course, and she's moving her head from side to side. Of course. I don't know. It feels really weird. I'm trying to do that. Try to do that at home. Do it yourself at home. Say, of course, and deny with your head. You think that fits? You think that feels right? Do it. Do it now. Just test it yourself. Just mimic when you have the doubt about any body language behavior, any body language gesture. Just mimic it. Just repeat it. Just try to do it yourself as closely as you can, and try to feel. Try to get how you feel. Yeah, it feels weird, right? Of course. Saying, of course, no, I don't know. It doesn't fit. It doesn't feel right. Okay, but for now, as I've told you, let's leave it at it doesn't feel right. We're not gonna jump into conclusions, but we already have two signals of contradictions. The first signal was that arrogant head when she was trying to answer. She gave that long pause that she felt she was trying to come off as sad. Okay, there was one contradiction. Second contradiction is this one. She's trying to say of course, and she denies with her head. Doesn't fit. And we could have a third contradiction. There's not a contradiction, but it's those word salad. That word salad of I'm not a good victim, I'm not a likable victim, I'm not a perfect victim. And then she says a few words that make no sense one after another. My head wants to go back and my shoulders up when I say of course. Yes, your body fights against what you're trying to do when you're trying to do mimicking Amber. Let's continue and see what happens.
I took for granted what I
I'm seeing that she didn't answer. No, she did. She answered the question. She's saying, of course, right?
which is a promise to do this. It feels as though he has for granted.
Wait a second. Go here.
To his trial with Johnny Depp.
Having been found liable, are you nervous as we are here today about what you can say now?
Of course, I took for granted what I assumed was my right to speak.
Do you feel like you could?
I took for granted what I assumed was my right to speak. Okay, I took for granted what I assumed was my right to speak. She's going all the way back to the original problem that it was the op-ed. She's trying. She does this just so you try to emphasize, connect with her in a way that I just wanted to speak freely. Yeah, but the trial, precisely the trial of how many weeks was the trial? I don't remember. It was like what, 4 weeks, 3 weeks. It was precisely to prove that it was a defamatory attempt to smear Johnny's career. Okay? Speaking freely is one thing, and this is another, and the trial proved that. And you had the same time as Johnny's attorneys, you have 6 weeks. Thank you. You have all the time, or the same time as Johnny's attorneys to prove your point. And you have all the supposed evidence and all the, boring witnesses to prove that, and well, you couldn't. That's why she's trying to go back to that. This is my right to speak, and you cannot deny that people have a right to speak, but people don't have a right to speak when that means harming someone else in a way that is not fair. Okay? Yeah, a person can speak freely, but can't tell lies to defame a person with impunity. Thanks, Eddie. That's true.
Be sued again by him for defamation?
I'm scared that no matter what I do,
I didn't listen to that question. Sorry. Let me go back.
right to speak.
Do you feel like you could be sued again by him for defamation?
I'm scared that no matter what I do, no matter what I say or how I say it, every step that I take will present another opportunity for this sort of silencing, which is what I guess a defamation lawsuit is meant to do.
Okay, notice how she's twisting the words. She's trying to distort the objective of the defamation lawsuit. She's saying that the defamation lawsuit, its objective is to silence her. And this is wrong. We're not saying that victims cannot talk or can be talk freely, openly about what happened to them. We're talking that you cannot simply point at someone and claim something that did not happen with impunity. This is so wrong in so many levels. And yes, my blood is beginning to boil a bit. I hope that it doesn't boil to the point of what I did yesterday, but I'm not liking the direction this is taking. I'm not liking the direction this is taking. I'm gonna repeat the sentence now, or answer, but I don't like it at all.
To speak.
Do you feel like you could be sued again by him for defamation?
I'm scared that no matter what I do,
Notice that she doesn't answer the question.
no matter what I say or how I say it, every step that I take will present another opportunity for this sort of silencing, which is what I guess a defamation lawsuit is meant to do.
Now will be the moment that Oprah would ask, were you silent or were you silenced? It's the same. And it's 2020 all over again with the Duchess of Montecito. It's the same. My God. So I don't understand why we have to put it with this, but let's keep it at Ed.
Meant to take your voice.
Okay. Let me repeat that. It was meant to keep your voice. What?
Meant to take your voice.
Take your voice? What are you saying? Why do you put your mouth like that? I don't understand what you're saying.
Lawsuit is meant to do. It's meant to take your voice.
But
The lawsuit is meant to take your voice. And the contempt, yeah, that contempt mouth to one side. Yes, it's yeah, I think that she forgot what emotion to feel, and she's saying that if you, let's put it this way, let's see that you're not Johnny Depp. You're not Johnny Depp, but someone says publicly something about you that harms your reputation and make you lose a lot of things, financial relationships, connections, opportunities, and that is not true. According to Amber's crazy logic, then you don't have the right to silence that person. If you do a defamation, you carry on a defamation lawsuit, you're taking their voice away. You're silencing them. Are you realizing how stupid is this? Who green-lighted this? I don't need to read her body language because the words coming out of her mouth are, I don't know, I have the word, but I don't want to say it. I don't want to get sued. It's nonsense. Okay? Imagine yourself in that. Someone just destroys your reputation publicly, saying something that you did not do, talking falsehoods about you. So it means that if you go on a defamation lawsuit, if you sue them for defamation, then it means that you are the bad guy. You're the one that is silencing them, their right to speak. No, that doesn't work that way. That doesn't work this way. It doesn't work this way. And this is a natural strategy of narcissists, that they will attack you for whatever you attack them first. If you tell them that they did something wrong, they will just turn the argument against you and say that you were the one to blame. Okay? So she's basically saying that the problem was not the op-ed, that was her voice, that was her right to speak. The problem was Johnny with that defamation lawsuit that was meant to silence her, to take her voice out. Give me a break, girl. This is sad. At least yesterday it was laughable. But this is sad. This is the saddest attempt. I think she's metaphorically digging her own grave. I think Warner Brothers already knew that this was going to happen. This is going to be a train wreck of an interview. Worst. The worst interview since, I don't know, Jussie Smollett or Prince Andrew. And they said, you know what, we had to pull her off. We had to just take her away. She is gonna I don't know, wreck. She's gonna wreck whatever she is connected to, especially after this statement. She should have keep quiet, and that's it. Or if you are gonna do an interview, do not give an interview to say this, that you cannot defend yourself about someone that wants to destroy your reputation. That is spitting in the face of millions of victims worldwide, not only of domestic abuse, but also of defamation. This is I don't know how to say that. This is baffling.
Take your voice.
But Amber is still speaking, just days after a jury stunned many and found the actress defamed Depp in an op-ed where she said she was a public figure representing domestic abuse. The piece, which never mentioned Depp by name, was published 2 years after the couple announced they had settled their divorce.
Life had seemingly moved on, and you decide to write an op-ed.
Life had seemingly moved on, and you decided to write an op-ed. I have news for Johnny. This is far from ending. This is literally an obsession. Okay? Call it single white female, fatal attraction. This is crazy. Yes, there's no way around this. So why do you keep doing this?
Why did you do that?
Because the op-ed wasn't about my relationship with Johnny.
Okay. We need to. It's mandatory to backtrack here. That op-ed was not about my relationship with Johnny. That's what she's claiming. Okay. Notice her. Okay. Tell me, my body language bodies, why do we call that expression in this house? What do we call that expression in this house? First one to answer gets a shout out. Let me see. Ayera won. This is not fair. You're a moderator. You dupe in the light. There's dupe in the light. Yeah, 60 girls too. And oh my God, you're all of you answered correctly. Everyone that said dupe in the light, Axiolina, Anki Pank, Wills, Island Gal, 60 Girl, Raman the Writer, Mystified. All of you answered correctly. A lot of you that also answered dupe in the light. Yes, this dupe in the light. And this is the moment to say. This is the moment that I'm gonna get away with what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say in the face of this woman, in the face of millions of people that are gonna see this. I'm gonna say again that the op-ed was not about my relationship with Johnny, and I'm gonna get away with that. And that's why you get that face. I'm gonna get away with that. there's a myth. There's a huge myth about narcissists. And some people believe that all narcissists are somehow super intelligent, that they are masterminds and etc. I think that is a misconception from the fact that I'm going to just mention psychopaths. And all psychopaths are narcissists. Not all psychopaths have high intelligence. Okay, that is a myth also. There's also a myth. But what psychopaths have is that they are really cunning. Okay, they're not afraid of the consequences of things. So sometimes that being cunning, a psychopath being cunning, it looks like they are more intelligent than they really are. Okay, you have to think about that. That looks like someone that is cunning, and they are cunning and things go their way. Okay, just because they convince people, because they are so cunning that they don't care what people say, and people get so startled for that interaction that they just get their way. The psychopath, the cunning psychopath, whether is intelligent or not that intelligent, they go their way. Okay, just because they are cunning and they are perceived as charming and intelligent, and they have what they want, and etc. That's why they have this. There's a couple myths about this, but not every narcissist is a psychopath. We know that Amber is a narcissist. Okay, or she's got a lot of narcissism in her, but I don't think this expression was very intelligent. This was not an intelligent move. This is mocking. This is openly mocking and openly thinking that she's gonna get away with it. Most psychopaths would foresee, or maybe I don't want to say most. Cannot claim that. But a psychopath could foresee the effects of this kind of displays. So somewhat, if they are gonna fake an emotion, they will try to time it accordingly. And if they know they have to make this kind of statements, they're gonna make sure that they are not they are not catch. No one can catch them like this. So this display is too on our faces. Okay, too open, too out there, too defiant. It's not. It doesn't fit. I'm not gonna say it's wrong. It's a wrong gesture. I'm trying to make sense of this. Sometimes emotions don't make sense, because making sense is because they pass a rational examination, and that makes sense. Sometimes emotions don't make sense, and they are emotions after all. And this expression here, she claiming that the op-ed was not about Johnny. It's so mocking, so deep in delight. Yeah, it's like she's taunting Johnny. Very, very, very good. Who said that? Omatsi Oti. Thanks, Omatsi. I'm gonna continue here just to find out what she says after this.
You do that,
Because the op-ed wasn't about my relationship with Johnny.
but it alluded to him. It was unmistakable.
You know, what the op-ed was about was, me loaning my voice to a bigger cultural conversation that we were having at the time.
Did you worry? Gosh, I'd love to be a person weighing in on these cultural issues, but that's going to stir this all up again.
I obviously knew it was important for me not to make it about him.
Okay, I'm sorry, I have to pause it here. There's so much editing here. It's uncomfortable. She began answering that question. She said just barely 2 or 3 words, and it was cut. You can feel that there's this cut in her voice answering. I don't know why did they cut those answers that much. I'm gonna play it again so you can feel the difference.
Did you worry? Gosh, I'd love to be a person weighing in on these cultural issues, but that's going to stir this all up again.
I obviously knew it was important for me.
Notice that she says, I obviously knew, and then it cuts immediately to another sentence, okay? Try to listen to that again. It's important so you can spot when a video has been edited. So I can imagine that her answer makes so little sense that they had to edit it to make it have some sense at all. The problem is that when they edit an answer like that, when we don't have access, we're not watching the original reaction. We are watching an edited reaction, which it's not ideal. It's not ideal. I'm gonna play it again.
I'd love to be a person weighing in on these cultural issues, but that's going to stir this all up again.
I obviously knew it was important for me not to make it about him or
Okay, notice this is the kind of thing that you have to watch, even if you're not watching the person. Listen to her words. Listen to her words and notice we have her right here. I'm gonna try to point at her. Oh my God, you're not watching her head now. What if I do this? Maybe if I need to watch her head moving when she's gonna say the following words. Try to listen to the words. Listen to her words. And at the same time, watch. She is this one with her back to us, but we can see even blurred. We can see her head move, the movement of her head. Try to listen to her words and watch her head movement, okay? I'm gonna do this again.
it was important for me not to make it about him or
Okay, there's a problem with the timing here. She says the words not to make it about him, but her denial of with her head is after that. The timing is off. I'm gonna take it just as another body language example, but usually when we're talking, when we say that something, we're denying something, for example here, it was not about him, we are gonna deny at the same time, deny with our head at the same time we deny with our words. What happened here is that she denied with her words, but the head denial went like 1 or 2 seconds later. Okay, there's a gap. There's a gap between the two things, and that is relevant just as a body language signal, a single body language signal. Remember that we have to stack several of them to say, hey, there's something wrong here. If you see a complete interview, for example, I don't know, 20 minutes, and you see just one signal of contradiction, well, you just discard that because it's just one contradiction signal in 20 minutes of interview. But if you see consistent and different contradiction signals, then we might be onto something. I'm gonna play it again so you can practice again. Not only listen to the editing that it was cut, but hearing that she denies that the op-ed was about Johnny, but her head says no 1 or 2 seconds later. Pay attention to that.
I obviously knew it was important for me not to make it about him.
She denies with her head when she says about him. About him doesn't have any, it's not denying anything at that precise moment, and there's nothing to emphasize. There's no adjective or anything. About him, okay? Just a contradiction. Let's leave it there and let's continue. Let me put it here so we can see the full frame.
Or to do anything like defame him. I had lawyers, teams of lawyers, review all the drafts of this.
Well, guess what? You lawyers suck back then, and you lawyers suck now. I had to say that.
When you wrote this op-ed, it was the height of Me Too. Legions of powerful men being canceled, losing their jobs. Did you want that to happen to Johnny Depp?
Of course not.
Okay, rapid blinking. How many times she blinked? I think I counted 3. Let me see. So yes, it was 3 times. Was 1, 2, and 3. Okay, let's see what she answers. She did not want to. She did not want Johnny to lose anything. Yeah, she should get her dollars back. Phoenix Risen. She should get her dollars back. Or maybe she hasn't paid them yet. Who knows?
And to Johnny Depp?
Of course not. Of course not. It wasn't about him.
But the
That was not the question. That was not the question. The question is not that the op-ed was about him. The question was if you wanted him to lose these jobs, opportunities, etc.
Their jobs. Did you want that to happen to Johnny Depp?
Of course not. Of course not. It wasn't about him.
But the op-ed and the abuse alleged was at the heart of the 6-week trial.
Just pulls his arm back with the phone and throws it at my face. Hit me right in it felt like my eye.
Heard testified that the final straw came after a violent fight in May 2016. 6 days later, she filed for a restraining order, cameras capturing her as she left the courthouse. But Depp's lawyers convinced the jury Heard was lying about the abuse. Police who responded to the 2016 incident testified during the trial that they didn't see any injuries and that Heard declined to file charges.
This was a hoax, according to his team. Why didn't I cooperate with the police? As I've testified before, and I will stand by until my dying day, I didn't want to cooperate with them. I didn't want this to be out. I didn't want this to be known. I didn't want to cooperate with them because I didn't want this to be, I didn't want to get him in trouble.
Okay, this was something that she said on trial. What are the arguments? Why didn't you cooperate with police? Oh, because I wanted to protect Johnny. That is, I have to say, that is masterful. That is a great answer. I have to give it to her and to her legal team. I did not warn the police about anything because I didn't want Johnny to get into trouble. Okay? And you will be surprised how common is that in couples, okay? And not only in domestic violence, it can happen in any sort of situations, even with the partner of the person that is in trouble, so to speak, is not harmed or anything. Like they are trying to protect their partner. Okay, that is a masterful answer to that. Why didn't you say anything to the police? Why didn't you cooperate? Because I wanted to protect Johnny. Well, I have to say it's pretty convincing. It's a pretty convincing argument.
Heard declined to file charges.
This was a hoax, according to his team. Why didn't I cooperate with the police? As I've testified before, and I will stand by until my dying day, I didn't want to cooperate with them. I didn't want this to be out. I didn't want this to be known. I didn't want to cooperate with them because I didn't want this to be, I didn't want to get him in trouble. If it was a hoax, I could have done that. Okay,
but the problem is, and that's why it was so important at the moment of the trial, that the officers that were called upon that moment, they did not see any bruise or any signs of violence or anything. It's not that she did not cooperate, but she couldn't have prevented them from seeing any signs of violence if there had been any real violence. So maybe they did not see any signs of violence because there was no violence. And by the way, I have seen your comments since the trial and up till now, mentioning that she's got some kind of fillers for her cheeks, right? you've been mentioning it a couple times. She's got cheek fillers, or what is the name for that? Help me with this, please. Like cheek fillers, or that sounds like that. That cheek implants. Okay, like this. And I'm beginning to notice, yes, in this interview that yes, Amber did not have those cheeks. I'm just realizing that. Yeah, that bone structure is not her face. Cheek implants. Thank you. Yeah, it's like she looks like handsome Squidward with those cheek implants. Botox, oh maybe, but they're almost like are very how to say that. Yeah, it's very weird. Yeah, implants. It's not Botox, because Botox, what Botox does is not move your face muscles. Yeah, protrude. Yeah, that's the way. Protrude. They are like pointy or something. That's not the face he had back in 2016. By the way, in that 2016 deposition. I realized that you were mentioning it over and over again, but up till now I hadn't noticed that. I think it was the angle. It is the angle now that allows me to spot that.
Want this to be, I didn't want to get him in trouble. If it was a host, I could have done that.
But 5 days later,
Maleficent. Maleficent cheek implants, yes. Yeah. Oh my God.
but 5 days later, you went to court and it came out.
5 days later, I made the decision to stand up for myself and protect myself. You can't get a restraining order in private, which of course I didn't understand the night when the cops were called.
An employee of TMZ testified at court and said that TMZ was tipped off about when you were going to be going to the courthouse and on what side of your face bruises would be apparent. Did you tip off TMZ?
I was going to say, he certainly didn't get tipped off by me or
Did
anyone in my...
anyone you know tip off TMZ?
Why would they? No.
I like that fast look into her right. As I said, you cannot have one single body language signal tell the whole story, but yeah, you might already seen from my videos that looking to your right is accessing your creative side that is not lying in itself, but it's not a good signal in this case, okay, because she should be remembering, not creating. But it's just one signal, as I'm telling you over and over again. I know that it can get tiring, but it's important. One single signal cannot tell the whole story. In this case, so many contradictions with so much nonsense. Well, I wouldn't be surprised that this is part of it too. That she did warn TMZ. She did the leak.
TMZ.
Why would they? No.
You asked no one to do that.
As I testified to before, it had nothing to do with me.
There are different incidents that you testified.
This is way too edited. I think the problem with this, I think there was a sit down of 1 hour, and they just cut it mercilessly to just 20 minutes. I think, or this is longer, right? It should be just 1 hour. I think this is gonna be a full 1 hour interview. I understand it should be, because I don't understand how is this so poorly and brutally edited to sound like this.
As I testified to before, it had nothing to do with me.
There are different incidents that you testified to, and the DEP legal team would put up pictures of you publicly right after that or in the days following and saying that why are there no bruises?
Again, it's that thing. If you have bruising, if you have injuries, it's fake. If you don't have any, then you weren't injured.
You had promised to donate the $7 million of your divorce settlement to charity. It was revealed at trial that you haven't done so yet. However, they played a tape where you stayed on the air that you have donated it. Do you think that raised questions as to your credibility with the jury?
I made a pledge.
Please, not again. No, this is... Please, no. I know how to do this, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. Oh my God, let's... Oh my God, the 7 million went on wine on her face.
And that pledge is made over time by its nature. And
When you say I donated, you know that everybody thinks that you've donated it, not that you've pledged it. So for the jurors sitting there, do you think they felt like that was you getting caught in a lie?
I don't know, because so much of the...
Okay, remember the tequila game from the trial. For every don't know, you have to take a tequila shot. We have our first tequila shot in a long time. I don't know. I don't know. My God. Pledge, donate. This is malarkey.
I don't know, because so much of the... I feel like so much of the trial was meant to cast aspersions on who I am as a human.
She did not answer the question. She did not answer about the donation. She did not answer about the pledge or whatever she's claiming to have done. She's trying to... I don't know what to tell you. There's no body language. It's like when you evade a question, body language takes a second seat, okay? Because you're already evading that with your words, okay? Maybe you try to do something to answer with your words, and then your body language betrays you. But once you evade the question, what is left? There's nothing left.
Credibility, to call me a liar in every way you can. And
That was the trial. It was a credibility contest.
And
That was it.
This is another one of the examples where if you pull back and you think about it, I shouldn't have to have...
I'm gonna take a guess. There comes another bout of nonsense. There comes another bout of nonsense that we're not gonna understand. There comes another bout of nonsense that we're not gonna understand. But here we go anyway. I'm gonna try to pay attention. Yeah, that is our face. That is our face right now. What the F? I don't get this. Please. My soul dies a little every time I hear her speak. Yeah, IZS. That's our general feeling.
This is another one of the examples where if you pull back and you think about it, I shouldn't have to have donated it in an effort to be believed. I shouldn't have had to earmark.
I shouldn't have donated it in order to be believed. Okay, so you say that you donate something. Let me get this straight. This is amazing. This is peak cynicism. This is peak cynicism. What? I say donate, but I shouldn't be forced to actually donate the money for people to believe me. This is bad. This is really bad. I shouldn't have to tell the truth. Yes. What is this? What kind of train wreck is this? I think Prince Andrew can feel better now. I think Prince Andrew can feel better about himself now. This is gonna beat the Prince Andrew interview. It's gonna beat the Prince Andrew. This is epic. I shouldn't be forced to or be able to donate. I shouldn't have to donate for people to believe me. Yes, you need to donate for people to believe you, because if you say that you donated the money and you do not, it's because you lied. Oh my God, this is painful to watch, and even more painful that Amber Heard has fans, people defending her, Tell me, where is your Mira now? Tell me, Amber stands, Amber simps. No, you're not gonna shag her. You can defend her all you want. You're not gonna shag her. That's reality. Please. My God.
Examples where if you pull back and you think about it, I shouldn't have to have donated it in an effort to be believed. I shouldn't have had to earmark the entirety of that in order to have.
You shouldn't have, but once you said you did.
Right, which is where it was intended to go.
Heard said
It had to be cut. I need this. I need this. I need to watch the whole interview. And we need the whole hour. This is out of this world. Yeah, you're not gonna shag her. But please edit it. I need to make an editing of this. I'm gonna create a clip of this. 1 hour and 10. Sorry about that. 1 hour and 10. I'm gonna create an hour and 10 a clip about that. You're not gonna shag her. For God's sake.
she still plans to honor that pledge.
How do you see your future now?
I get to be a mom, like full time, where I'm not having to juggle calls with lawyers.
One day you may want to tell your daughter about this or have to tell your daughter about everything that you've gone through. What would you want to say?
I think no matter what, it will mean something. I did the right thing. I did everything I could to stand up for myself and the truth.
Heard and Depp's volatile relationship lasted just 4 years. Depp confirming his engagement to me on Today in 2014.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Are you excited?
Yeah, very. She's a wonderful girl. She's,
He looked so happy back then.
She's sharp as a tack, wonderful, Southern belle, and sweet as can be, and very good for me.
On the first day of the trial, you issued a statement, and part of the statement said, "I still have love for Johnny."
Yes.
Is that still true?
No, please. God, no, please, no. God, insert that meme from The Office. I think that has that. I hope that I don't know if I have that. No, I don't have that meme here. I need the. Oh please, God, no! Don't go there.
Yes.
After everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love him. I loved him with all my heart. And I tried the best I could to make a deeply broken relationship work. And I couldn't.
Duty forces me to actually watch her saying that, but I need to watch it for any signals, but I don't want to.
I loved him with all my heart.
I need something. I need alcohol now. I need alcohol now.
Have love for Johnny.
Yes.
Is that still true?
Yes.
After everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love him. I loved him with all my heart. And I tried the best I could to make a deeply broken relationship work. And I couldn't. I have no...
I certainly hope that Johnny blocks her from everywhere. Everywhere. This is cringe. Yes. We need mega pints of alcohol. We need something really hard. Oh well, that didn't come out well. To watch this.
bad feelings or ill will towards him at all. I know that might be hard to understand, or it might be really easy to understand. If you've just ever loved anyone, it should be easy.
Okay. That was painful to watch. I hope that yes, that there will be a 1 hour full version of this, because we need that full hour. But this, what can I say? She needs help. Amber needs help, and a lot of help. It's lucky for us if at any point I get tired of analyzing Meghan Markle, I can just put on this interview and say, hey, you know what? I love my job. Let's watch all those Meghan clips. How bad can it be? This is bad. This is bad in so many levels, and I think Amber just beat Meghan to that race, to the finish line. I cannot tell you anything else. This is painful to watch. This is secondhand embarrassment. This is cringe. This is disturbing, because you wonder what can be happening inside Amber Heard now, in her heart, in her mind, everything. To go on an interview, to give an interview and say these things. And supposedly we have, let's think about 45 minutes, 50 minutes of interview. We have barely watched like 20 minutes, and that's it. We're gonna be watching 40 or 50 minutes of this. It's baffling. And the problem is not Amber Heard, because in so many ways Amber Heard cannot harm us, but there's so many people out there that repeat the same patterns of behavior, of deceiving and trying to tell you to your face that they're still you and they will always love you and blah blah blah, and there's all empty words to gain you back, to gain sympathy for people, and people telling you, why don't you give them a second chance? They're so charming, they're so everybody love them, why can't you love them? We don't understand. Society love them, your family loves them, your friends love them, your co-workers love them. Why can't you do the same? And you feel confused. You said, I have been living through hell for so long that I don't know anymore what is being really human. Amber's words. And that is scary, because these people are gonna manipulate you using your own words, because they know the words you use, they know your weaknesses, they know your goodwill, they know about your savior complex, they know you want to heal them. That's a big advantage over you, and they will not be afraid to use all those things against you, so only because they want to control you. That's it. Those patterns are out there. I know we joke, we say this is cringe and everything, but I can't tell you how many times this crime is committed, because it's a crime that doesn't get enough awareness, that does not get enough awareness. The only way that I can help you, I cannot help you. Maybe you're listening to me, and I'm really glad that you're listening to me, and I'm happy that you're here in my live watching all this, and I'm really humbled that so many bodies, I don't know, almost 7,000 bodies are watching me right now, and it feels great. But at the same time, I wonder how many of you never comment, never say anything, never react. They just watch me silently, and you feel like I'm talking to you. And I know how it feels. I know what it feels to be manipulated by someone that knows exactly which strings to pull. And they do it in a way that you don't notice it at first until it's too late. And when you notice that, the first sensation is that you must be crazy, right? Because yes, you are the one who has done the things wrong. You're the one who has made the mistakes. You are the one who is clumsy. You are the one who is to blame for all this. You are the one who hasn't done their part. And you say that somehow that is wrong. That you don't deserve to be treated like that. But it's so hard to understand how this man or this woman, everybody seems to love them. Everybody seems to, they're so perfect for everybody except for you. And you don't remember what was the last time you actually felt safe around them. You actually could relax with them. And you wonder why, when you are alone at your home, or when you go out, or when you are alone at your home and they arrive and you're listening to them arrive, something just, you feel a rush of, not euphoria, not something good, but you feel that like your defenses instantly go up just by listening the keys at the door, just by listening the car getting in, just by listening to them arrive. You don't want them to come to where you are. You want to hide, like Johnny hid in the bathroom. And you're asking, why is this happening now? Why am I feeling like this right now? When did this change? What did I do to feel like this? If you feel like that, if you realize that your judgment seems compromised, I'm sure that you're onto something. Your intuition will never be off. They could fool you in a rational way. They could use your emotions against you, but your intuition is still there. And your intuition is the greatest tool that you can have. It is beyond sad when this happens to someone that you love, someone in your family is suffering this, and when you try to point this to them, this is what is happening to you. Don't you see it? Don't you realize it? And they are so controlled. They're so hypnotized by their partner, by their manipulator, by their narcissist, that they attack you. How you dare talk like that? Who do you think you are? This is my marriage, this is my relationship. You don't have anything to do here. Yeah, there are people that are so deep down that hell that they defend their manipulator. They are so afraid that they could never even consider that their partner, their manipulator, is the one to blame. And it becomes from a flawed perception of themselves. And these manipulators realize that if you have a problem with your self-esteem, you are an easy target. And they will use that against you. And they will like to nurture a relationship with you, because that will guarantee that you will give them the attention that they crave. attention at home, because they will crave attention from everyone, from their friends, from your family, and at the same time try to isolate you from the family members that could look like may sense something with them, from your friends that might sense something with them, and try to create these alliances with family members or your friends or your co-workers that will defend them when the time comes. This is textbook manipulation. This is as simple as it gets, and it's efficient, and it works, and so many people have had their lives screwed for decades. I sometimes, it's really hard to read my inbox because I get whole, I don't know, 10,000 word letters from people that just want to bend being with a narcissist for what, 30 years, and they have just gained their life back. And it's well, it's disheartening in some way, but at the same time, it's one can feel hope for the person that not only realized what they were going through, but also had, I don't know the word at this moment, I'm sorry, but they could just break from that spell and get their life back. A life that maybe they never had, because the life before they were manipulated were full of doubts about themselves, were full of lack of self-esteem, were full of guilt because maybe they were raised on a narcissistic household. They had one or even two narcissistic parents or a narcissistic sibling, and they have never met someone that really values them and really loves them, and they only know how to fight for scraps of love. I wish there was a way to bring awareness to this on a massive scale, because it's not that one person is going to harm a lot of people. You only need one person to destroy your life for years or even decades. And we have to look at that in an egoistical way. You have to think about yourself. I've said that over and over again. You are the most important person in your life. Hands down. Nobody else matters more than yourself. There's no way around that. Nobody else matters more than yourself. And even if you have children and you want to take care of them and you want them to have amazing lives and everything, you would agree with me that none of your children, if they truly love you, they would like to see you manipulated or destroyed or in any way. So it is an unbalanced life if you want everything for your children, but you don't realize that you are suffering. Because in some way, you're gonna project that guilt onto them. This is sometimes hard to understand. You know that I like to joke a lot, and I like to make all kind of jokes about these topics, trying to add some levity. But I always try to give you some insights. Especially, I'm grateful for all your comments. I'm grateful for all your chats. I'm really engaged of how much love you show this community, and how much support you give my channel for through all this ways that you have to show your support. But I'm worried about the people, because okay, there's a lot of people commenting now in the chat, and I thank you for that, but there's 6,000 viewers now. So I could say that more than 90% of viewers now are silent. I don't know what they are thinking. I don't know if they're gonna have the strength to just sit down and write about what is going on with their lives. I feel really bad because I simply cannot answer all your emails. That is impossible for me. I've never had assistants to answer my messages or my emails or any of my communications, because I wanted you to know, I wanted you to be sure that if you ever get any answer for me, by any means, by any channel that you have, any mention or any message or any email, that it's me. And sadly, on the flip side, I cannot answer you all. I have to say that I cannot answer all your messages. I'm sorry. But what I can tell you is that writing, I read all the messages. That's for sure. That I read every single message. I read every single email. I just don't have time. I find it. There's some emails that are so touching that. I don't know how to say this. I wish I could do more. But the thing I can tell you that you can do is to write about your situation. Okay? If you're in a toxic relationship or you're in a toxic household, maybe it could be a bit dangerous if you do it physically. I've told you many times that you should have a notebook, a notebook like any other notebook, and create start journaling and start writing about what is your life, what is going on with your life. But if you're in a truly toxic environment, that could be dangerous. So maybe you can just write an email. You can send me an email. You already know my socials, and you know my email. Sadly, most probably I will not be able to answer you. But it's totally open if you want to vent. And there's so many things that one can realize when you just write, when you get that out. And you can write that on a piece of paper and not show it to anyone, not send me any email, but you have to get that out. Maybe you don't have a friend, a really close friend that to trust, or a loved one that you can trust with this. It doesn't matter. Just get that out. You can speak alone and you will get that out. You can write it and nobody read that, and you will be getting that out. But you need to get that out of your system. Because you your brain to exercise the process of getting the information out. Because in that process, you will have a panoramic view, a bird's eye view of your current situation. Haven't you noticed that so many times you just talk about a problem with someone, and as you're talking about the problem, you realize that you have a couple already, without any feedback, you have a couple answers, just like that. It's because you organize the info to get that out. That is a process in our brains. To write or to speak, we need a process to organize the information, in this case, your life, what is going on with your life, to get that out. It doesn't matter if someone reads it, or if it's actually talking to someone. You can even record a voice note and then destroy the voice note. But it's really useful when you can write it down and then read it 2 weeks later, 2 months later, 2 years later, and realize if your life is stagnant, or if you're doing progress, or if the you from the past made mistakes, but only made mistakes because you did not have the tools that you have now. Because that is another thing. You have to be kind to yourself. You need to be kind to yourself. You shouldn't be too hard with yourself, with so much things that you have been through. And the first thing that you're gonna do when you begin to realize that you're being manipulated or that you're being harmed in any way, besides blaming yourself again, is saying how stupid I was. How could I do this? I must be stupid. And for so much manipulation, you're gonna say these 2 sentences. How stupid I am, and how I deserve this for being so stupid. And I say stop. Stop treating you like that. You don't deserve that treatment from yourself. But the problem is that if you're talking to yourself like that, it's because the only language you have learned to use is pain. And you feel guilty every time pain subsides. You feel guilty when you feel happy for something. You feel guilty when you have a victory. If there's any victory and you feel that it's not enough, you feel bad. You feel bad for good things happening in your life. I know hundreds of you listening to me now, silently, not having any comment, not saying anything. You feel bad when something good happens in your life. Tell me if that makes sense. It doesn't. There is a problem. You need to get that out. You need to express that. Just get that out. Write it down. Make sure it remains private. But you need to get that out of your system. You need to get that out of your system. And this is urgent. I know that maybe you're thankful. You realize that you have to be thankful for the good things in your life. But it's not enough to be thankful. You need to enjoy the good things in your life. You need to be happy and joyful for the things in your life. Why do you think I always say much love and bliss? Who's the person that you have to love first? yourself. Who's the most important person in the world for you? Yourself. You have to love yourself first. You cannot love anyone without loving yourself first. That's a law. That's a rule. And bliss. Why do I say bliss over and over again? There are three things in life that shouldn't be negotiated. We need all three of them. One of them is bliss. It's not joy, because joy and happiness feel good, but they are fleeting sentiments, fleeting emotions. They come and go like the waves of the ocean. You never know when they're going to be strong, or never know when they're going to be soft. But they come and go. The joy comes and goes. And most of the time we live so fast that we don't even have time to truly enjoy what brings us joy, if we allow them to feel joy in the first place. So many wrong things with that, and that is our life. We don't allow ourselves to be joyful of the little things, because if they're little things, we say, hey, how this is ridiculous, me feeling good about such a little thing. Or if this is a big thing, I don't know if I deserve that. Nobody can live like that. Nobody can have I don't like this word, fulfill life. I don't think we can live a fulfilled life. We cannot actually live a fulfilled life, because it's a personal concept. We're always striving for more, and I don't mean buying more things. It could be reaching out to more people, helping more people. And I've mentioned that many times. You don't know where to start, you don't know how to heal yourself, look for another person to heal. Look for another person that has a problem. Just pick one person. Try to help them in any way you can. Just forget about your problems for a single day and try to help that other person in any way you can, even if it's something little, small. And why do I mention bliss? Well, bliss is one of these three secret things that we need. Just gonna mention bliss now. Bliss is a state of, I don't have a synonym for that. Bliss is a state in which we allow ourselves to experience the world, to really live the world. We feel blissful, no matter if things are not going our way, no matter if we are doing something that we don't like. Because even if we are doing something that we don't like, we have the ability at that moment to do that thing we don't like. And so many things. Imagine something that you don't like. That you can be at that place. You are breathing. You have your eyes, and you have the being bored. It means that you know what you like and you don't like. There's so many ways that you can realize things, and so many things that you can learn from every situation. Yes, there are bad people in the world. There are very bad people in the world. And yes, we're gonna be stumbling with very egoistical people and very toxic personalities. And you might think that when something happens bad to you because of another person, that is personal. Most of the time, almost 90% of the time, it's not personal. There's a lot of people that are not necessarily bad, that harm you because maybe they are in the same situation as you. Maybe they feel bad about themselves, maybe they feel bad about their lives. They don't have the right to treat you bad. If they treat you bad once, you just give them one opportunity. You don't give them two opportunities. If they harm you once, that's it. Just make sure you don't think it's personal. Don't take it personally. If you don't take things personally, you will never have the desire to get back at them, a vengeance or anything. That is the first step to bliss. Because we cannot avoid stumbling upon bad people and maybe good people that are having a bad day and can behave exactly the same as bad people. And we can be confused. There's so many ways that I could define what is bliss for me. And I have come to realize every time I feel bored or have a setback about anything, I just think that I had the opportunity to experience that setback. Experience is a beautiful word, because to experience something, you must be conscious about that. You cannot experience something if you're not conscious about what is going on. You cannot experience the landscape you see in the window on a train trip if you're sleeping. Maybe if you're sleeping, you cannot experience what is going on. If you're waking up, you can experience that. But I've learned to detail the tiny things, to spot the tiny things, to especially be able to find beauty everywhere. I have a huge privilege in this, that my artistic background, especially drawing, and to draw, you need to actually see the details in things. And that is one of the most beautiful things that I have experienced, because even in truly boring moments, I can spot tiny details in my surroundings, and I just say, that would be nice drawing this and such. That is one way in which I do that. Maybe you do it in a different way. Maybe you like talking to strangers. Maybe you like detailing the music around you. Maybe you like to find out what people are cooking around you. Maybe it's always a sensory experience, because we experience our world with our senses. And in that regard, how many times you have lost the opportunity to experience the world around you because you were overthinking, you were just in your own mind, just thinking what was going to happen in 1 hour, the next day. How many times you lost because you were not using your senses, because you were not experiencing the moment. You realize that you can miss the landscape out the window of the train even if you are totally awake, even if you are staring right at it, but your mind is somewhere else. You're missing the experience. You're missing the experience of the train trip because you're constantly expecting something else. And that it's okay to be dissatisfied and try to always be thriving and improving yourself. And like I told you in the video of what was the name of Megan, reinventing Megan. It was a task video that I commented on live. It's nice to reinvent yourself and you feel uncomfortable, but it's not nice to not truly experience the world around you. This is your life. This is your divine energy. The divine energy that connects every single one of us. We have a huge privilege of feeling and breathing and pumping that divine energy inside us and being able to experience the world with it. Thanks to it, we have the tools. But we act like if that energy doesn't exist. Like if wasting that energy doesn't matter. It shouldn't be that way. I want you to think about this. I want you to think about everything that we've said today. And I'm really thankful for you being here today. And thankful for having, the privilege of this internet connection that helps build our connection together, my beautiful body language bodies. I have to mention that some of you, so many of you, have sent so many super chats, and I noticed that other YouTubers maybe create dedicated lives just to answer super chats. That's something that I have to do, because I'm sorry, but I'm this flow of consciousness. I am this in this flow of consciousness, having been able to answer the super chats. I'm gonna do something like that. I'm gonna create a live at a later time and go over your super chats, answer your super chats, because you deserve that. You deserve an answer. Yeah, we are surrounded by magical things, Veronica. Yes. I think we all needed this today. My beautiful body language bodies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. And we'll be waiting for the full interview, because this is just a disjointed clips put together. This couldn't be the whole interview. We need a complete, 45-minute interview. And yeah, I don't want to leave either. I don't want to leave. I don't want to end the live. But I need you to think about this. It feels good to read a book about a topic, or listen to a YouTuber talking about something that you connect with. But you need to do the work too. You need to write about yourself. You need to realize your situation. You need to understand what is going on with your life. And I'm sure it's going to be much more beautiful than you think it is. I'm not going to say that, I'm not going to deny the fact that sometimes life can be unfair. But the concept of life being unfair is just something that we an attribution that we give to it. Because life just is. Nothing else. Life is. And that's where it stops. You think it's fair or unfair, I want to tell you, because I know it, and you've got this, and you've got the means to turn that sentence the way that you want it to be, to fill in the blank. Life is, I can only think that life is beautiful. That's the only thing the only way that I can think. Life is beautiful. And I had real trouble filling in that blank. And I can understand that you can have trouble filling in that blank. Life is what for you? Life is not fair. Let's change that. Okay? Promise me that. My Body Language Buddies, I love you all. Thanks for joining me today on this second and this rambling. You know that sometimes my lives go on a rambling, but it's necessary. We need these words. I know so many of you that need those words because I needed them myself just a couple years ago. And love you all immensely. We'll be meeting again. I hope that tomorrow we have the whole enchilada and we will be there to analyze it. I love you, my beautiful Body Language Buddies. Take care. Bye bye. Have a great night.